Football is the ultimate team sport, which means all 11 guys working together as one. You need your linemen working to protect your quarterback. You need your running back to have vision and ball security and be able to move the chains. And you need your quarterback to be able to hit open receivers and put the ball in the tight windows. And you need your defense to be elite, and if not elite, then at least be middle of the pack. Because it does you no good to have a great offense if your defense can't stop anyone. Despite having one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have been one of the NFL's best teams as of late. In his rookie year, Joe Burrow tore his ACL while being sacked, and the Cincinnati Bengals instantly knew they needed to improve their offensive line to protect their prodigy child. But still, in 2021, Joe Burrow was sacked 51 times, which was the most in the NFL that year. 19 more times on top of that if you're including the postseason, and 7 times in the biggest game of the year, which is the Super Bowl, including the game-winning sack, which could have possibly been a game-winning touchdown to Jamar Chase. Joe Burrow has been sacked 124 times in 3 seasons. Let's compare that to some of the other top quarterbacks in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes has been sacked 121 times in 5 years. Josh Allen has been sacked 151 times in 5 years. Justin Herbert has been sacked 101 times in 3 years. Tua Tagovailoa has been sacked 61 times in 3 years. Justin Fields has been sacked 91 times in 2 years. Jalen Hurts has been sacked 77 times in 3 years. Joe Burrow would come in at second on that list. Now, despite the sacks, Joe Burrow still threw for 4,611 yards and 34 touchdowns, and the Bengals still wound up being 10-6 in 2021. Joe Burrow also became the first NFL player to have 5 games of 400 yards passing or more in his first 3 years of his career. Later on that season, he also became the first quarterback and former #1 pick to reach the Super Bowl in his first 2 seasons. And he's doing all of this while taking a tremendous amount of hits. Now, Joe Burrow isn't the most mobile quarterback, so he could get better at avoiding sacks or just simply throwing the ball away. But Joe Burrow has his own interesting take on sacks.
Well, here's the thing about sacks. So there's good sacks and bad sacks, right?
Sure.
You know, you look at the stats, yeah, I got sacked a lot, but you look at when they happen, third down sacks, who cares about third down sacks? I'm going to try to extend the play as long as I can on third down to get the first down. Unless I'm in field goal range and it's going to back me up, then I'll throw the ball away and get some points. But I think sacks are an overblown stat.
So Joe Burrow says sacks are an overblown stat, and he tries to make a play if it doesn't lose them any points, basically. When Joe Burrow is pressured on 31% of his dropbacks, which is a league average number, he's still getting sacked off of that pressure at a league leading rate at 38%. Now, I'm not really too sure how you guys feel about PPF's advanced stats, but here are some stats about Joe Burrow's offensive line. And still somehow, to kick off the season of 2022, Joe Burrow started off the season by being sacked 7 times in week 1 and 6 times in week 2. That's 13 total sacks in 2 combined weeks. They cleaned it up for a couple of weeks, and then he went on another run of being sacked 3 times in week 6, 3 times again in week 7, and 5 times in week 8. A 3-week period where Joe Burrow was sacked 11 times. This year, Joe Burrow has the 3rd fastest average time to throw in the NFL this season after ranking 12th fastest last season. He's also gone from 16th shortest to 6th shortest average pass length as well. Now, this isn't all on Joe Burrow. In 2021, we didn't harp on these issues much because Jamar Chase took the lead by storm and was also leading the league in receiving yards, and his counterpart T. Higgins was 4th in the league in receiving yards. Joe Burrow was blitzed at the lowest rate in football and faces a too-high safety at the 2nd highest rate in football. So if you want defenses to give you that 1 high safety look, which is easier to pass against and get favorable matchups, you'll need them to have to worry about your run game, which in 2021 was a strong point for the Cincinnati Bengals, and Joe Mixon had 292 rush attempts, 1,205 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Now, if we flip to 2022 and let's combine that with the struggling O-line, the running game production did fall off a little bit. Joe Mixon only had 210 carries, which is 82 less than the year before. He had 814 yards, which is 391 yards less than the season before, and 7 touchdowns, which is 6 touchdowns less than the year before. So the running game as a whole took a hit. Even in the 2022 playoffs, he had 28 less rushing attempts than he did in 2021, and he had 100 less rush yards than he did in 2021. So it's easy to point a finger at the O-line or at the running back position, but as I stated earlier in this video, football is the ultimate team sport, and you need all 11 guys working together effectively. I mean, all Joe Burrow has been able to do is be a comeback player of the year, a one-time Pro Bowl winner, take his team to the Super Bowl, come back from being down 18 to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, throw for 11,774 yards and 82 touchdowns in his 2.5 years of playing. And that's all with the quote-unquote bad offensive line. What do you think he would do if he had a good offensive line? Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment future content you would like to see.